One of the reasons why God chose David to be the next king was because David was responsible with his duties in the natural. See, we focus so much about the spiritual. Sometimes we just sit and pray and pray and pray and sing songs and worship that we forget about the natural duties God has given us. And so we have to understand that God sees how you act in the natural to understand how you will act with the spiritual responsibilities. If you're not on time, if you're someone who lies, if you're someone who always is making excuses, someone who doesn't move forward, doesn't take risks, is always sitting in one place complaining, is always depressed, always arguing, always complaining, you are not the candidate God can use to do his work. Because in the natural, you don't have what it takes to represent God. So you have to be someone that is efficient somewhat. I'm not saying be perfect, but somewhat efficient and responsible with your natural duties. Be on time. Do what you're told. Don't let things get to your head so fast. You have to be someone that is humble in that sense, obedient. Obedient first to your parents, obedient to the authorities, obedient to the government, obedient to your teachers. And then God can see, yes, he's someone that will listen to man, okay? And therefore, I can give him instructions in the spiritual to act upon. So this is what God is looking for if you want to be a David. In Proverbs chapter 3, we've been reading about the heart and how the importance of the heart to keep wisdom. And in verse 3 and 4, it says that we have to bind God's laws around our neck and write on the table of our heart. And as a consequence, we will have the favor of God and of man, and they will see wisdom within us. This will only happen if you take God's laws and put them seriously around your neck, where you show it off, and your heart, from where the desires come out. You have to desire God's laws. You have to desire to obey God. The only place you and I fail is when we don't have the desire to obey God. That's where we fail. In this sermon, I'm teaching about focusing on the simple things in the natural where we are failing at, so that we can accomplish great things in the spiritual, which will manifest themselves in the natural. David was chosen as king, but when the prophet came to the house of Jesse, which is where God told him to go to look for the next king, everyone came, all the brothers were there except for David. David was not even considered as someone who was worthy to become the next king. But then they had to go and look for him. He was taking care of his work, which was the sheep. And they called him, and he was anointed in front of his brothers. The same ones that forgot about him, the same ones that rejected him. In front of them, God chose to anoint David. And then David went back to attending his sheep. He didn't let that anointing and the calling of being the next chosen king of Israel, he didn't let that get to his head. He went back to his work because he knew that all this anointing, spiritual stuff, and all these things have nothing to do with him getting his job done for that day, working with the sheep and attending to responsibilities. Attend to that first. Then the anointing will start to flow automatically when the time is right. But be a man of action in the natural. This is what God teaches us today, and this is what we go deep into this sermon to understand why God chose David. Why God chose David to be the next king. So stick with us, and God bless you.